YTBC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. And guys, sometimes I veer away from making boxing videos, and sometimes I will talk about real talk. And I've got a section in one of my playlists called Real Talk where this video will go. People, I want to talk about what you do when you're pulled over by the police, okay? What you need to do when you are pulled over by the police. Listen, many of us, you get pulled over, okay? If you got a motor vehicle, you've been pulled over before. And it's not the most pleasant thing in the world. It's not like you're saying, ooh, whoopity-doo, whoopity-doo. Hey, I'm getting pulled over by, a police officer today. I feel so good today. Ooh, wee, whoopity-doo. No, you're not happy when you're pulled over. Nobody is, okay? Because you're trying to get somewhere, and you always have somewhere to be when they want to pull you over. They never pull you over when you're just taking a Sunday drive. No, 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 no. They always want to pull you over when you got somewhere you got to go, okay? And I was asked by one of my subscribers, like, what did I think about the Sandra Bland? And also, what did I think about Samuel DuBose? These people were killed via traffic incidences, okay? I'm going to give you my response to that later in the video, at the end of the video, okay? But I'm going to tell you what you people do, what you guys need to do when you are pulled over by a police officer, okay? The first thing you need to do is you need to think like a police officer. Now, how do you do that, okay? First of all, police officers, you got to think, guys, they're encountering people every day that they don't know, okay? And if you think about it, we're people, we're all human. So when we encounter somebody we don't know, we theoretically, guys, we kind of think that they could be possibly capable of doing something. And it don't even matter what color you are. It's just if I see somebody I don't know that approach me, I'm going to think that, oh, okay, you know what, it's time to defend myself. Well, it's the same thing when police officers, they see and do things, they react just like normal humans, okay? When they pull me over, the first thing I always do is when I know I'm about to be pulled over, I take my license and registration out and I put it on my dashboard, okay? I put it on my dashboard right above my steering wheel. And I'm going to tell you why I do that. And the second thing is I stop my car immediately and I put my hands on top of my steering wheel, okay? I have done two things for that police officer, okay? So I can guarantee myself survival. Number one, he can see my hands, okay? And many police officers, they appreciate the fact that they can see your hands, okay? They see them. So it's kind of good that they can see your hands visible. And two, my driver's license is up on the dashboard, so I don't have to make any sudden movements. He can see where I'm going to get my license and my registration from. You see, I've heard of incidences where, a person will go to get their license and registration, and they'll make a sudden movement to get them, and a police officer will shoot them, okay? I've heard of this happening before, and it has happened before, okay? I don't give them any extra added ammo to shoot me, okay? I just don't. And they'll shoot you nowadays. They will shoot you. If they think that, you're going to do something or pull out a weapon, they'll kill you point blank. They don't care. Okay? But I keep it out. So for one, he can see my hands. And two, I don't have to make any sudden movements. I can just take my hand on the dashboard and hand it to him. The third thing that I do is I roll my window part way down. I never ever roll my window all the way down. I don't want this police officer sticking his big old fat nose in my window talking about he smelled marijuana, okay? I don't want him sticking his nose in the window saying he smells something. So I don't even give him the opportunity. What I do is I roll my window down enough so I can stick my whole arm out to give him my license and registration, okay? Now, some police officers, they might be a little buttholders, okay? They might be. And they may even tell you to roll your window down. And I even had an officer ask me, why do I have my window down? I said, man, I really don't know you, and I don't know what you're capable of doing. And I wasn't being smart. I said it really, really politely. And a lot of politeness with police officers, it go a long way. I'm telling you, if you are overly polite to them, man, a lot of times they'll just give you your ticket and go. Or sometimes they'll give you a warning and go, or sometimes they won't give you anything. They'll just let you go. I mean, I've had that happen many, many times, okay? So don't tell me it's impossible for a black person to be pulled over by a police officer and catch a break. A lot of times it is. You got to play the game, okay? See, guys, I'll get more into this a little bit later, but you have to play the game, okay? And so I give them that, and some police officer, they'll order you to roll the window down. You know what? Never, ever argue with a police officer when they give you a command that's reasonable. Now, if they're telling you to go run around the street butt naked, yeah, I don't think that's something you need to do, okay? That's not reasonable. But if it's a reasonable request, like, sir, could you roll your window down? And if I told them I don't want to, the first time they say, well, roll it down, I roll it down. Because one, I don't want him, breaking my window. Two, I don't want him reaching in trying to get me out of the car. See, I don't want your whole goal is to stay in the car. Okay, your goal is not to get out the car, because if you are ordered to get out the car, then there's going to be some type of problem. Okay, I'm telling you now, Your main goal when you're pulled over is to stay in your car. So if he ordered me, hey, roll your window down, okay, I'll roll it down, okay? See, stuff like this, you can argue that in court, y'all, and you can actually get a lot of this stuff thrown out if you go to court. And sometimes you can get a nice big fat settlement because it's not in the rule book where I have to roll my window down. I can get an attorney and argue that, okay? But see, I'm just saying. And, they'll tell you, they'll tell you to, roll the window down. Some of them, they had also tell me, well, I need you to roll the window down. And I'm not going to argue and say, well, why? See, the first thing you do is when you're asking them abruptly, like, why I got to roll my window down? It ain't against the law for me to roll my window down. See, you looking for trouble. And I know some people going to get on here and say, well, man, you got to fight the power. You see, fighting the power is what get people killed. See, you don't beat police officers. You don't beat them when they're pulling you over. You can't beat them like that. You beat a police officer in court. You beat him with his own laws that he think you don't know. See, you gotta tell yourself and tell that officer, he has to know that you know your rights, okay? You always let him know you know your rights, but see, you be polite about it. See, you never, ever, ever start, tripping and going off on the officer because you're looking for trouble, okay? You're looking for trouble. I'll give you an example. One day, me and a buddy of mine, we was in college, okay? And I was riding with him. And I'll never forget this story, we got pulled over by a police officer. And, my buddy was like, man, I don't know why I got pulled over, man. I ain't done nothing, man. I ain't doing nothing, man. He ain't even, get officer time to even, say what he was going to say. So the officer said, okay, I need both of y'all to step out the car. Hey, I got out the car. He was like, man, what I got to get out the car for? See, I'd already got out the car. I was already out in the car, and I just sat down on the curb. And this guy was like, man, I ain't doing that, man. You can't get me out the car. And guess what? Guess what happened? And this is, y'all, I kid y'all not, this is no laughing matter. The police officer, reached in, opened the door for him, and he still didn't want to get out the car, so the officer pulled out a taser and shot him in his ass. And he tried to shoot him in the stomach with the taser, but he turned and moved, and the taser shot him in the ass. Guys, I can't make this up. I'm not playing with y'all. And I know some of y'all sitting there laughing, but God, he got shot in the ass with a taser. And all because he just wouldn't get out the car. And y'all know what the ticket was for? The ticket was for, basically he was just going to tell him his tail light was out. His right tail light was out, and he was just going to give him a warning and tell him to go get it fixed. You see, people, you don't have to escalate a situation. Sometimes the most important rule is just shut up. Just shut up. Don't say nothing. Just shut up. The less you say to a police officer, the better. I don't say anything to them unless they ask me a question, okay? I don't try to respond to them. I only respond to what they say. If they ask me something or they make a statement, then I respond based off what they say. The less you say to an officer, the better your chances of getting out of there with a warning or your life, okay? And that's just the way that is, okay? I'm not finna get shot in my ass with a taser. I'm just not finna do it. I'm finna, be compliant. And sometimes they will tell you to get out the car. Listen, if they tell you to get out the car, get out the car. Step out of the car. Step out the car, but as soon as you get out the car, you cut your video on. You cut that video on, and you start recording. And that's what you do, okay? See, police officers are shell right now anyway. They don't care if you got a video on or not. They don't care. They still if they're going to do something, they're going to do it anyway because they don't really care. Okay, but now if I had to get out the car, I cut the video on. See, less likely, sometimes some police officers, they don't want to go over that line. So a lot of them, they just want to ask you a question or they want to see what you got. They want to see, because there's something unsure. And I've only had that happen one time when a police officer asked me to step outside the car. I've only had it happen once, but I kept my composure. I kept my cool, and I was very, very cordial to him, And, he was just asking me some questions. Where was I going? Why, did I have my window halfway down? I just looked suspicious, Why? And then he asked me, why did I put my license and registration on the dashboard? And I told him, I said, sir, I know you got a tough job. And, when you pull people over, I know it's, you're risking your life every time you pull somebody over. So I wanted to take the stress off of you as an officer. See, I played it like that. And you know what he told me? He said, sir, I appreciate that, man. He said, listen, I'm going to let you out with a warning. You were speeding, over the speed limit by 15 miles. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And he just let me go. See, a little courtesy goes a long way, y'all. I'm not saying kiss they behind or, oh, you want to be like the man. But sometimes you got to live another day to fight in court. That's what I always say. You live another day to fight in court. You don't sit here and start trying to, cuss them out, call them an idiot. You know what? You asking for trouble. You asking to get yourself shot. You asking to get yourself beat down. You're asking for it. And guys, that's just the way it is, okay? You cannot go up to an officer and start saying, anything that come to your mind and start, being belligerent because they're gonna retaliate. They just are, okay? But yeah, Now, the next thing, when you're pulled over, never ever let a police officer, I don't care what he tell you, don't let him search your car. Now, with that being said, you tell him, you know what, I don't really consent to you searching my car. You tell him that because he's going to know that that's your right. And I told the officer before, look, it's within my constitutional rights to deny you, to search my car. Now, some of them might search it anyway. That's cool. I don't care because, see, if they search my car anyway after I've already said that you can't search it, I'm not finna argue. I'm going to get out the car, I'm going to get out the way, and I'm going to do exactly as he says, and then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to fight it in court, and I'm going to get a settlement. And that I've had that happen before where they searched my car without me, giving consent. And I said no. I said straight up no, and I went to court, and guess what? I won. So listen, a lot of times fighting a battle, you can't fight them on the street, y'all. You're going to lose every time. I don't care what you do. If you try to combat a police officer, engage him in anything, outside of a courtroom, you will lose, okay? You can get out of traffic tickets, y'all. You can get out of anything if you just go to court. I'd rather spend the time, going to court instead of paying a $200 traffic ticket. I'd rather go to court and get me a lawyer when an officer has violated me, or violated my property and get a settlement. I'd rather do that. You see, you get a nice fat payday. Now, what do I think about, Samuel DuBose and Sandra Bland? Some people are not going to like the way I'm answering this question, okay? I hate the way Sandra Bland was treated, and I feel really bad. And every time I hear the story, I'm saddened, okay? But when I look at the video, a little courtesy goes a long way. If she honestly and truthfully, guys, and I know some people say, well, why play the game? Sandra Bland had an airtight case. You know that? She could have gotten at least $25,000 in court. With a good attorney, she could have got 25 grand because that police officer harassed her so bad. All she had to do was just say, play the game. Just play the game, okay? Put the cigarette out, no problem, okay? And then, once he pulled out of the car, see, it was already pretty much, it was a done deal because the officer clearly was harassing her. She had an airtight case, okay? And see, okay, then after he pulled out of the car, she still was running her mouth and talking a lot of, man, cussing that police out, it just don't matter. I'd have let him do his thing. He threw my head on the ground, guess what? Now that's pain and suffering. Homegirl, she'd have got paid another $200,000 for pain and suffering. I would have shut my mouth then. Okay, I would have shut my mouth. I would have not said another word. I would have let him give me the warning ticket because she didn't resist arrest at that point in time. I would have just let him give me the ticket and then, take my lumps and go get me an attorney and go get me $100,000. That's what I would have did, okay? That's just me, okay? I think she'd still be alive today. See, your goal out of a traffic encounterment, y'all, is not to get out without getting a ticket. It's to leave with your life, okay? And I think that she handled it wrong. I think police officer was dead wrong. Oh, he was dead wrong all the way. But see, she didn't live enough to tell. She didn't get to live to go to court to tell her story. She didn't get to live long enough because they killed her in jail. That's my thing. I think that they killed her in jail. I think so. But I think she did it all wrong, man. She let her emotions get the best of her, and that police officer, he won. Because clearly he was looking, man. He was looking to pick a fight. He was trying to get her enraged. I think that she should have just kept it quiet. I think she should have complied. Because, see, he was going to do something else, man, to try to get her going. But she'd have got out there with her life, and I'd have hired an attorney. Okay, Samuel DuBose, okay? Now, this is about the guy that got killed in Cincinnati. One of my subscribers asked me, what do I think about that? Well, I'm going to tell you point blank, okay? I think the guy was murdered, okay? Here's the thing I'm finna tell y'all. Don't ever, ever run from the police. Because I'm telling you now, they're going to open fire. They're going to shoot you, okay? It's almost like a knee-jerk reaction with the police, okay? It's completely knee-jerk. They're going to fire. They're going to shoot you if you run. They're not going to try to chase you down. They don't do that no more. They don't do that like they used to be back in the days where they run you down and catch you. They're not going to do it again. They're going to shoot, okay? They're going to shoot you. And it's like, Samuel DuBose, he didn't have his license. Look, I'd rather go to jail and be convicted for a revoked license than to get shot in the head. I mean, guys, you have to kind of think about your choices, what you have, okay? Okay, true. I ain't have my license. He ain't have his license. True that. Okay, well, I'll just go to court, and, I'll be in trouble. I might go to jail. I'll call me somebody, help bond me out, and that's just the way that is, okay? I ain't got to get shot. But I think, him trying to pull off and the officer still had his hand in the car, I don't think that was a smart move, man. Because one, man, these guys, any little thing you do, they shoot. Okay. See, these are mistakes. Now, is the officer wrong? Yes, y'all, the officer is wrong. The officer shouldn't have shot this man. He should have just gotten in his car and pursued him. Got in a hot pursuit. I'd have done that. Okay. But then maybe the officer didn't want to kill. I don't know what this guy was thinking when he shot this man in his face. I just don't know. Okay, I just don't know. But I tell you this right now, okay? If it was me in that car, I'd have been like, look, man, I don't have my license. I'm sorry, I left it at home. See, you could have been creative. I left my license at home. This is my car. Listen, and a lot of times they'll give you a ticket. They'll give you a ticket. They'll tell you to go to court. A lot of times they don't even arrest you sometimes. But the thing of it is, y'all, you have to use a little bit of common sense when you deal with these officers, guys. A little bit of courtesy go a long way. Many times if I'm pulled over, 9 times out of 10, I get off with a warning. I always get off with a warning because of courtesy. And it's not even because, I'm trying to escalate or I think the man is right. It ain't that, y'all. It's just the fact that, guys, you cannot engage an officer in criminal. You can't engage him in warfare on their turf. The turf is the streets. That's their turf. And you trying to engage them or, trying to be, really go off on them, guys, you're not going to win that battle. You're going to end up getting yourself arrested. You're going to end up getting yourself a ticket that you can't pay, or you're going to end up getting your ass whooped out there. And that's just the way that is. Or further worse, you might even get killed. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. You guys give me your comments at the bottom. I'm done.